Alright guys, I'm on my way to work as you can see, but before I do, I wanted to do a quick movie review for the premiere, well, I guess you could say, like, streaming premiere of The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. I think this is the first time I've actually, like, reviewed a Conjuring movie of any sort on my channel. Now that I think about it, here's the thing about The Conjuring is that some of the movies are good, but a lot of them are a lot of them are just at best. And that's the problem, is that this, even though it's like one of the more successful cinematic universes outside of Marvel, a lot of those films are not great. Like The Nun and the first Annabelle movie. You also have now there are some good ones. Annabelle Creation wasn't that bad. The main Conjuring movies, the first two, are pretty solid horror movies, especially the first one. So yeah, I've just never really reviewed any of them because they're like there's a more bad than good, and it's a movie universe that I am not. Sorry, I just had something like blocking my glasses. That I'm not really invested in. So, but with it being on HBO Max, I decided, what the hell? Let's review this movie. Let's review this movie. So, Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. So, for those who don't know, this movie is based off of an event that basically what happened in 1981 is that this guy named Arnie Johnson murdered someone and claimed that he was under the control of a demonic possession, and this is loosely based off of that story. So right out the gate, as always with these Conjuring movies, Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson are the standout roles for these. They're really, they've got it nailed as Ed and Lorraine Warren. If anything, even at the weaker points of the Conjuring universe, whenever, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga show up as Ed and Lorraine, it's yeah, they were pretty good. It's exciting to see them. I was actually watching Annabelle Comes Home, and when I say watching, I mean I shut off after halfway through the movie. I was like, I wish they were more in the movie more, because they show up as Ed and Lorraine. But I was watching the movie, I was like, can we just go back to them? Can we go back to... Because they're way better. They were acting circles around everyone in this movie. So... It's just not... It wasn't that good, like I was saying earlier. So, in this movie, we get more from Lorraine, because she's taking on a more proactive role after Ed suffers a heart attack. But thankfully, Patrick Wilson still, even though he's, sidelined for the most part, he still gives a really good performance. So if anything to give this movie, it's Farmiga and Wilson as Ed and Lorraine. They still knock it out of the park and make such a believable married couple. Anyway, the rest of the cast... Oh, by the way, John Noble shows up in here for a hot cameo. It's pretty good. Having John Noble in anything, the moment when the first trailer premiered, I was like, is that John Noble? Oh shit, it is. Yay. And he's really good. He has a quick scene as a very much exposition man in this movie, but I didn't care. It was oh, he was really good. He was really good, yeah. I don't know why I'm holding my hands like this, like I'm reading a newspaper. I don't know what I'm doing. Half the time I don't know what to do with my hands in these reviews. Or any of my videos, in case you've been here long enough. Anyway, so the demon itself and the witch, it's here's the problem, the big problem with this movie, and I'm sure if you've seen other reviews of this movie, they're gonna tell you, they're all gonna be overlying the same thing. Too many plots going on. You've got one that's a court case, like Exorcism of Emily Rose. You've got plots dealing with demonic possession. You've got all of these different things going on at so many places that it gets confusing. It gets straight up confusing. You forget which plot line is going, and that's the problem with this movie, is that it just feels so disjointed. It feels so much like it's a hodgepodge of different movies. And yes, James Wan isn't directing this movie. I think it's from the director who did Annabelle Comes Home. And by the way, Warner Brothers, what is it with basically blowing your load in the first act of the movie? Because seriously, the best stuff is at the beginning of this movie, and just like Mortal Kombat, the best stuff is at the beginning of the movie, and then it all goes downhill from there. Because there's some legit scares, there's legit, tension with the boy who gets possessed at the beginning of this movie, but after that, it's like, what happened? What? We're just stuck with, we're just stuck with Joe Schmo here and his problems now? What? It's annoying. It's really annoying. So that's, there is that. And again, it's just like Mortal Kombat, where that opening scene with Sub-Zero and Scorpion, really great, and then it all goes downhill from there. Like, it all just boom. That's the same thing with this movie. I will say, though, the guy who directed this movie, I can't remember his name, but he did Annabelle Comes Home, and I think he also directed Shazam. No, it was a different director for Annabelle Creation, not the same guy who did Annabelle Comes Home. Because Creation, the guy who did Creation went on to do Shazam. I'm sorry. But anyway, point being is that this guy clearly loves Evil Dead. Because there are some straight-up scenes in here that are so reminiscent of an Evil Dead movie in here. I don't know if I'm the only one who caught this, but, there is several scenes in this film where it is very reminiscent of Evil Dead. And, the scenery and, so much blood in here and, how the camera angle goes. It's very, I was very much oh, so someone clearly loves Evil Dead. And honestly, it wouldn't be that bad if this was an Evil Dead movie. And not a remake, mind you. We're already getting I know we're getting Evil Dead Rise. But yeah, this movie feels more like an Evil Dead movie than a Conjuring movie at some points. But then other points it feels like, oh, it's a cop drama. Oh, it's like Law & Order. Oh no, it's back to being Evil Dead. Oh, it's back to being a cop drama. See what I mean? It's trying to be 10 different things when it doesn't need to be 10 different things. The performances outside of Wilson and Farmiga, don't care. Legit don't care. I will say the boy David, the actor who played who played David, the little boy, he was really good. I believed him when he was being possessed and whatnot. I was like, kid's got acting chops. He's better than the Arnie guy. Because Arnie's literally watching a wooden plank half the time. I would just, literally, I want someone to just recut this movie and replace Arnie with Plank from Ed, Edd and Eddy. Just replace him right there. The Conjuring, the devil made me do it. The Plank cut. That's literally what it feels like half the time, is that he is that boring. That says something when the guy you're supposed to feel sympathy for being demonically possessed, you want to see him replaced with a wooden plank. And it wouldn't change the performance. So, it's not as bad as Mortal Kombat or some other movies I've watched this year. I've actually seen a lot more good movies than bad movies. So it's been more bad than good. This one's just boring. That's the problem, is that this movie is just boring. And it also doesn't help that in preparation of this, I did watch Annabelle Comes Home, which I mentioned earlier, I shut off that movie halfway through because I was like, this is boring and it's just trying to create more spin-offs. It's literally trying to do the Iron Man 2 thing, when you're late in the game. I don't know if they're doing phases or whatever, but they're this late in the game and they're already trying to do more spin-off films, and they're trying to Iron Man 2 it with showing off all the other movies that they could spin off from the magical room of Ed and Lorraine Warren's haunted house room. Yeah. So, this one is the same way, where it's because this is why is it always the third? I know it's not every time, and sometimes there are points where the third movie is the strongest of the trilogy, but not it. Usually, most of the time, third movie, and I already knew something was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna be bad. I knew. I'm not saying this movie's bad, but the scares that you expected from the first two movies aren't here. Like, they're all... The load's already shot by the first half. Everything else is just quiet, quiet, jump scare. Quiet, 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 jump scare. It's literally that. So, your standard Conjuring movie jump scare or what have you. Like, there is the problem. Yeah. So, it's not bad. It's just boring, disjointed. But again, the actor. Thank God for Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, carrying this movie. I hope they go see a chiropractor for carrying the weight of this movie on their backs. I hope they see a chiropractor. Anyway, yeah. It's very clear, like I said earlier, it's very clear the director wants to do an Evil Dead movie, and he was clearly trying to do... Like, I feel like at some points he was like, Hey, Hollywood, can I do an Evil Dead movie? Oh, you're doing an Evil Dead... Okay, I'll go make Conjuring 2 Evil Dead 2. Alright, bye. It was like that. Anyway, so I've rambled enough. If you're a diehard Conjuring fan, I'd say give this a look. If you've seen, like, at least just the main Conjuring movies, maybe pass on it, because it's definitely the weakest of the three. And I knew this was gonna happen, because again, I was bored with Annabelle Comes Home, and with this from the same director. And after James Wan left to go do, I think he went off to do, he went to do Aquaman and the sequels and the canceled Trench movie. I knew changing directors is never a good thing. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, if you watched The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, what did you think of it? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.